Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some major boxing news because the Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn 2 card has been revealed, as well as some other boxing events that have been revealed as well. We're going to start off with Fraser Clark. Now he's going to take on Jamie TKV for the vacant British heavyweight title. Now this bout is scheduled on October 25th in Derby. I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about the fight. We'll start with talking about the fight. I think it's a good fight. Fraser Clark's coming off a very good win over Ebenezer Tete, that round one victory back in April. Obviously, I was surprised how quickly Fraser Clark got back into it. I know it was probably 6 months after he lost to Fabio Wardley, but the Fabio Wardley stoppage was it was brutal. Honestly, his face was destroyed. That big bulbing thing out the side of his head. I mean, big credit to Fraser Clark for getting back in there so soon against Ebenezer Tete. Rolls him over and now he faces Jamie TKV. Jamie TKV, he's coming into this after that very, very controversial loss to David Adelaide back in April. Look, for me, I think it's a very, very interesting fight. I think Jamie TKV really needs to win this to start cementing himself within English boxing. If he really wants to try and reach the top of English boxing and reach the top of world level boxing, he needs to be able to get rid of Fraser Clark, much like Fabio Wardley did. We saw how Fabio Wardley has accelerated his career, especially after that second fight with Fraser Clark. He knocks him over, gets the British title, knocks over Justice Hooney, and now he's fighting Joseph Parker for a shot at Usyk. You can see how quickly things can progress. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen for Jamie TKV from beating Fraser Clark. It is a stepping stone, though, and what my point is if he loses to Fraser Clark, I think that sets him back majorly. I think we're going to be looking at Jamie TKV and really starting to question what level this guy sits at. I think he needs to be able to get rid of Fraser Clark. No offense to Fraser Clark, he's a very, very good fighter. We saw that way he dismantled Ebenezer Tete, even the way in which he made it hard for Fabio Wardley in the first one. My point is more towards Jamie TKV making a statement rather than saying Fraser Clark can't beat Jamie TKV, because I think he very well could. The second bit of this is actually the fact that this is going to be Boxer's first BBC event, and they've scheduled it very, very odd in my opinion. Why I say that is because they've picked October 25th. Now, the fact is this fight's going to be free for everyone in the UK. I'm not sure how it gets televised worldwide. I'm in Australia, a BBC event. I have absolutely no idea how I'm actually going to watch it, apart from VPNing to England. So I'm not sure, but in terms of it being free and on BBC, they've picked an odd day because Joseph Parker will be facing Fabio Wardley on that day, and that's going to take all the headlines within English boxing by a mile. I feel like this fight's going to be pushed aside. And never mind Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker, you've also got Thurman and Fandora on that day. So you've got two cards, two different times on the same day. I'm not sure this BBC card's going to get much viewing, if I'm being honest. I think it's odd. I think it's weird. I'm not sure why they've decided to do it. It is only a BBC event. They could have well and truly done it. Honestly, they could have done it on a weeknight. I know they're probably not going to get the crowd in there as much, but they're going to have a lot more eyes watching the fight than scheduling it on the same day as all those big fights. It's odd. It is odd. All right, Caballel is set to fight in Germany, January 10th. No opponent yet. They do have their destination. They're fighting in, I think, a 13,000 seat stadium. Ajit Caballel just needs to stay active. Like I was saying for Joseph Parker, Caballel needs to get back in there. He hasn't fought since beating Zhili Zhang in February. That fight went 6 rounds. So it'll be good to see Caballel back in the ring. Obviously, he now knows the paths of everyone. He knows that he's not got a shot at Usyk for a while. He knows he's not got Joseph Parker. So, in terms of what opponent he picks, who I would like to see him fight, I probably wouldn't mind seeing him fight a Filip Hrgović type fighter. I think we're at a point with Caballero where we're going to be saying only the top names. I don't want to see him fighting someone outside the top 20. I'll put it like that. I think it'll be easy for Caballero. We're not going to see him tested. And at this level, Caballero is what the third best heavyweight in the world right now, in my opinion. You go Usyk, you go Parker, you go Caballero. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, the big news. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn 2. The card has been revealed. Yeah, I mean, the card isn't anything special, but I don't think it really matters. Like, I was thinking, we're going to get into the card in a minute. I just want to speak about this first. Lots of people hated on the Canelo versus Crawford card when it first came out. But the fact is, the card actually wasn't that bad. I thought Mbili really impressed. And the fight was actually exceptional. But the fact is, after that fight, nobody was talking about anything but Canelo and Crawford. And I think this is the same. You think about the first Eubank Jr. versus Benn card. Does anybody talk about any of the undercard fights? Honestly, I couldn't remember them. I ended up Googling it to see who fought on that day. I couldn't remember. It was Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna. Aaron McKenna winning. Anthony Yard beating Lyndon Arthur. Chev Clark losing to Vidal Riley. And Chris Billam-Smith beating Brendan Glanton. But no one really remembers that card. Nobody cared. The fact was, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Benn was an absolutely outstanding fight of the year, and that was all that mattered. And I think it transfers onto this one. I think the card is still good. It is still a good card. It depends what you're comparing it to. You could probably say, especially for this being an English card in England, that the undercard's probably better than what Canelo and Crawford had. We have Adam Azim taking on Zawa Abdullayev. Adam Azim, he's looking quite good. He's 13-0 still. Zawa Abdullayev, he's coming off a loss to Raymond Muratella. That fight against Raymond Muratella was actually for the IBF interim lightweight belt, which became the outright IBF lightweight belt holder after Lomachenko vacated and retired. So the last fight that Abdullayev had was actually a title fight. So it'll be tough for Adam Azim, but I think Adam Azim is a very good fighter, and I think he's probably going to beat Abdullayev. As much as I say it was a title fight, Raymond Muratella beat Abdullayev convincingly in that fight. I don't think the unanimous decisions was even close. I'm talking like almost every single round, bar one or two, I think was given to Raymond Muratella. That's how wide the scorecards were. Next on the card, we got Jack Catterall taking on Echo Usman. This was sort of leaked a few weeks ago, and I did talk about it. I think it's a tough fight for Jack Catterall. The fight against Harlem Eubank, we didn't get to see really anything. It was a weird fight. The styles didn't mesh. It was a messy fight. Jack Catterall didn't really have any ascendancy, but neither did Harlem Eubank. Catterall ends up winning it halfway through the fight off a technical decision. And before that, he performed, I thought, quite poorly against Arnold Barboza Jr., especially when you see what Barboza Jr. did against Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez destroyed him on that night. So Jack Catterall needs to step up a little bit. And I think this is a tough fight, and I'd probably, early doors, say Echo Usman should win this fight. He destroyed Josh Taylor earlier in the year. I think Echo Usman, being the natural at this weight, is going to benefit him so much. We saw it against Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor looked small against Echo Usman. I think Echo Usman at this weight, his engine, I think early doors beats Jack Catterall. Probably changed my mind 3 or 4 times coming into this fight, but I think early doors Echo Usman wins this fight. Richard Riakporhe, he's going to be having his second fight at heavyweight when he takes on Tommy Welch. Tommy Welch is an undefeated fighter, 16 fights, 9 knockouts, 30 years of age, but nobody at the level of Richard Riakporhe. I think Richard Riakporhe is a very good fighter. He was a good cruiserweight, obviously moved up after that second fight against Chris Billam-Smith that he took the loss in. And he's had one fight at heavyweight and he beat Espinoza. His opponent was Espinoza. Beat him round 4 stoppage. I think Richard Riakporhe is a very good fighter, and I don't think Tommy Welch has really been pushed in the 16 fights that he's had to the level that Richard Riakporhe is. Like, let's not forget that he beat Chris Billam-Smith at cruiserweight. I think Richard Riakporhe early doors should stop Tommy Welch. Sam Gilly, he's going to take on Ishmael Davis. You know, it's getting to a point where it's make or break here for Ishmael Davis. He's on 3 losses in a row now. Josh Kelly, Serhii Boachuk, and Keegan Ajarko. If he loses to Sam Gilly, right, it's just about end of days for Ishmael Davis, especially on these big cards. I don't see how they can back it anymore. Like, he's going to be coming into this fight now at, I don't even know what his record is overall. What's Ishmael Davis's record now? I know he's had those 3 losses in a row. Ishmael Davis 13-3. His last win was against Troy Williamson in March of 2024. I just don't know how you can back it any longer. Like, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. It's been a while. I know that some of those losses, like there was a split decision loss, a unanimous decision loss, but he got stopped by Serhii Boachuk. But 3 losses in a row, if that goes to 4 against someone that's not really a name, like Sam Gilly isn't a name compared to Kelly Boachuk. I mean, I wouldn't even go as far as saying that Jarko is a big name yet. I think he's a very, very exciting and good fighter. But he's still building. I think Sam Gilly, 18-1-1. Ishmael Davis, I don't think has a choice in this fight. I think he has to go out there and win this fight. All right, last on the card, Mike Talon, 20-year-old, 10 wins, 1 knockout, flyweight division. Very exciting young fighter. He's coming up against Faizan Shahid, 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. His opponent, Shahid, is actually taking a fight in Box Park in Liverpool a month before this fight. So, I mean, depending on how that goes, this fight could change. You know, if Faizan Shahid gets his ass handed to him, there's probably a good chance that we see a different opponent. But Mikey Talon, very, very exciting fighter. The opponent is the level of opponent I expect to see him fight, and the type of opponent that I expect Talon to win quite comfortably. Probably won't stop him, but I would expect it to be quite a good unanimous decision victory. Alright guys, that is the card. I'd love to hear what you guys think of that card. Who do you think early doors are going to win those? Are we happy with that card? Is it better or worse than their first one? It's very, very close, isn't it? I think there is some good fights on there. Some good names. It'll be a good fight for an English crowd, I'll say that. Much like the first one, we've got a lot of English names there. And I think that just builds the atmosphere. There's going to be a stacked Tottenham Stadium, so I don't see anything but success for that event. And hopefully the main card doesn't disappoint, because like I said, as good as the undercard is or isn't, if the main card delivers, it's all forgotten about. If the main card is shit, lots of the time we look at the undercard and complain about that too. Kabayel, who do you guys think he's going to verse? Remember, that fight is set for Germany in January the 10th. And Fraser Clark versus Jamie TKV. Who do we think is going to win that? Like I said, I think Jamie TKV really needs to win this fight. It's 2 people. Fraser Clark will be coming into this fight on a high compared to Jamie TKV, which is surprising when you think about where Fraser Clark was at the end of last year. Jamie TKV, he's going to want to have one back after that loss to David Adelaide. We know how angry Jamie TKV was with that result. That fight, again, is on October 25th. I don't like the day. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. If there's any English viewers watching this fight, please let us know what you guys think of this fight. Do you think that because it's on BBC, a large amount of people will watch it because it's free to air? I'd love to know. Or will you all Brits be glued in on Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley, and this one will be forgotten about? Let us know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I'm out of here, guys. See ya!